Huh?
Hello. Hey, this is on loud. Welcome back to the 2009 Galveston World Classic 10 ball event. I'm Mandy Ashford here with Shane Van Boening and Francisco Bustamante. Welcome, gentlemen. Now, Francisco, I heard Shane was in the Philippines lately. Did you two have a chance to match up at the pool tables?
Well, we play couple sets in the Philippines, and we both always tough game between him and me. So, but I got lucky. But he's a great player, and then he's young, and I gonna be careful against him.
Well, best of luck tonight. Absolutely. Now, Shane, after a loss to Mika last night on an unlucky roll, how determined are you tonight to win this game?
Well, you got to forget what happened in the past, and just keep it going and, try your best. And, things happen like that all the time. So,
Absolutely. Well, good luck to you tonight as well. Thanks for watching. I'm Mandy Ashford, and we'll see you afterwards. Thank you.
Well, Niels, we got a good match coming up here, a 10-ball match. Shane Van Boeing and Francisco Bustamante. This should be a shootout at the OK Corral here, shouldn't it?
Absolutely. We have two high-powered players, and I don't think we're going to be disappointed at all. Oh, for those of you wondering, this is Neil Fujiwara, known as Fujiwara on the AZ Billiards Forum.
Yeah, it's good to be working with you tonight, Neil, and we got the ringside seat for this match, and we'll have a good time here.
Oh, definitely. And I really like the fact that you're coming off a match recently and get to commentate on the next match and see what insight you have on this one.
Yeah, this is a little different game. This is I just finished an 8-ball match, and now the way the match went, it certainly didn't wear me out.
Yeah, both of these players are just playing phenomenal pool.
Well, both guys bring humongous breaks to the table in this 10-ball, and
well,
I really like that Shane Van Boeing, his control of that white ball, and it doesn't look like he's exerting that much effort, and he just controls that cue ball so good, and
super consistent. Super consistent.
Yeah, I can tell one thing. That break there is going to be, over the years, that's going to be a lot.
Well, a lot of people try his break. You see it where they try and position the cue ball in the same way and hit it in the same fashion. It doesn't look like much, but it's very, very effective.
Well, one thing, it takes out those two side pockets. Seems like he consistently hits that one and gets that cue ball to jump back past those two sides. So right off the reel, he kind of takes the two sides out for a scratch, and then he gets that one to working toward that upper corner, and if something falls, a lot of time he's going to have position.
Right. The 1, 2, 3. If they're racked on the corners, all three of them are on the same side of the table, and it's pretty much like it's a shootout from there.
Yeah, this tournament now you don't have to rack them 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure that 1, 2, 3 is such a good idea anyway.
Yeah, it's an interesting rule, and
I
you know,
think the 2 ball should have definitely be, uh, if you have a referee, should have. If you're racking for yourself, and it doesn't really matter, I don't think. But if you have a referee, it needs to be the 2 in the same place every time. I think them outside can be random is okay. For a very a game with that 2 and 3 on the corners, because a lot of times they both go 4 rails and end up hanging.
yeah, they end up right in the corner pockets. So, absolutely right.
Well, I saw you playing pretty good in this tournament.
Well, I tried. I lost to Lua and Efren, and I got within 3 games of finishing out, but I just couldn't get there. I lost 11-8 to Lua after being tied at 8, and lost to Efren 9-6 after being tied at 6. So I think there's kind of a tangible plateau where I need to break past. But I felt really comfortable, and I felt like I played pretty well. You know, of course, I made a couple of mistakes here and there, but as far as how comfortable I felt and optimizing what I had, I did pretty decently. And it's no shame losing to those players. You know, sure, I wish I was playing on the TV table, but you know, always a tournament.
Well, I've been noticing your name on the websites and the magazines, so I know your game keeps improving.
Oh, and I was extremely surprised, but they called me up. Billiard Digest called me up and did a full-page profile last month.
Oh, wow, that's real nice.
Exactly. I had a spinal cord injury last year, so I was totally paralyzed from the chest down, and that's what the majority of the profile was out, that I had an injury like that, but yet bounced back and able. 6 months after the operation that I ended up winning the biggest tour stop in October, November of last year, and you
Wow,
know, it was, yeah.
That's outstanding. Those are tough fields. Those Seminoles. Those are like a real tour event. There, those fields are tough.
Oh yeah.
You win one of those, you're liable to win any tournament.
That's what I'm hoping.
Congratulations, Neil.
Oh, thank you very much. I had a slight advantage. It was in our home pool room in Jacksonville, Florida, Bank Shop Billiards. So the tables play a little bit differently there, and I had a little bit of an advantage. But you know, I beat 5 U.S. Open champions. You know, and like you said, it's a very tough field. So, and what's amazing is that there are no consistent winners on that tour. You know, nobody's pulling away in points. It's always, you never know who can win. If there's a field of 50 players, 20 people are liable to win, 20 different players. It's amazingly tough.
Yeah, that's a nice pool room, that bank home place where you play most of
it. It's a nice, they keep the tables up very well. It's nice and clean. And the players, you know, they host tournaments, you know, as many as they can. They have the Lucasi hybrid tournament there, straight pool, 10 ball, and ball. They have a strong weekly tournament. They just had a tournament on Labor Day. They're just into giving into the game. They promote the heck out of the game, and it's great.
Yeah, they do. They do really promote the game. That's good to see.
So we're lucky to have Jeff Scott and Bank Shop Billiards in Jacksonville. That's for sure.
Yeah, I met Jeff a couple years ago. In fact, you were in there playing a tournament that night. That I stopped in there with Tim Hall, and
oh, that's right. I remember that.
And that's the first time I'd ever been in there. But
aren't you living in Florida now?
No, I moved back about 5.5 years ago. I moved back to Kentucky. I got started traveling back and forth to my office. I played a little bit, but mostly I'm ended up with a full-time job in my Q business, so that keeps me pretty busy. And my office is in Owensboro. And when I lived in Florida, I was constantly going back and forth, and I do enough travel without compounding it.
Right. Well, the fact that you have run a full-time business and came out and played so well in this tournament, you know, is a testament to how what kind of talent you have. That's for sure.
Well, thanks for the compliment. Jacksonville was always pretty good for me. I lived down there in Florida. I traveled a lot, but you know, that was Orange Billiards, wasn't it, over there that had those tournaments about every 3 or 4 months, those open events?
Yeah, Orange Park.
One-day tournament, and that place was awful good to me. I think I played 5 or 6 of them while I lived in Florida, and I think I won every one but one, finished second to Buddy in that one.
Oh, I remember there were $50 added events. And
those were great. I was working on my cue business then, but I was still trying to play a lot of, and what I liked about a lot of those billiard rooms in Florida, they'd have a lot of times they'd have open events where you could, if you was lucky enough to win, you could play all day, and boy, it helped keep you. Because I know sometimes I'd try to play 2 hours a day all week to just try to stay in stroke, but I found out it was better if I just played 10 or 15 hours in a row. That it did more for my game than anything.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and the fact that you came down and won those events, really tough fields with you and Buddy Hall. Jacksonville has a strong amateur level, and you know you have players like David Grossman, Butch Croft, and you get people traveling in from different parts of Florida for this. It made a pretty stiff field for local event.
Yeah, that Butch Crofts, he beat me at least once that I know of. He played real solid.
Oh yeah, Buddy Hall was his mentor, or he tried to emulate Buddy quite a bit, and you can tell in his stroke and his fundamentals. If you cut their heads off, they look almost exactly alike when they're stroking the ball.
I can't think of a better guy to emulate than Buddy Hall. I don't know anybody played any better 9-ball than he did.
Absolutely, we were talking about that earlier as far as his cue ball control, playing all games well, shot making ability, keeping a level head, just everything was just a great player to try and model yourself after.
Looks like our tournament director is going to introduce the match.
Hi again, once again, everybody. Welcome back to the Galveston World Classic, coming to you live from the Moody Gardens here on Galveston Island in Texas. We're going to begin our 10-ball division for you this evening. We have 3 matches starting now, and we started this division with over 80 of the world's greatest players playing 10-ball, which is rapidly becoming the game of choice for rotation among the professionals. $25,000 is at stake here for first place. That will be decided tomorrow evening. We're about to play a 5th, 6th place match. This will be a race to 9 on the one-loss side. Also going on at this moment on the pro arena side is the other 5th, 6th place match between Johnny Archer and Warren Kiamko. The winner of this will play the winner of that right here at 8. That's the 4th place match. And at 10 p.m. tonight, you will see our hot seat between Mika Immonen and Mike Deshane. As I've always done, and I can't do it enough, before we introduce the players, I've got to point out once again the people who worked tirelessly for almost a year to make this event possible. That's the people at Taylor Road Productions. That's Bobby Roan, Clark Roan, Louis Vicchio, and a whole bunch of people behind the scenes. I'd like you to show your appreciation for them right now. Thank you. All right, we got that stuff out of the way. Let's play pool. Our first player is from the Republic of the Philippines. He recently won the World Cup of Pool with his partner, Efren Reyes. He's sponsored on tour by Bear Hughes, Puyat Sports, and Jack Justice Cases. This man is known around the world as Django. Please welcome Francisco Bustamante. His opponent. Without a doubt, this man's been the fastest rising star in pro pool in the last 3 years. He's the 2007 U.S. Open 9-ball champion. He was second that year at the World Summit of Pool. He's the 2008 World Cup team champion with his partner Rodney Morris. He won the 2007 International 10-ball At a young age, twice already a Moscone Cup member, sponsored by Q-Tech, the South Dakota kid, Shane Van Boening. Gentlemen, lag for the break. This is a red 9. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the features of Pro 10 ball is that if the 10 ball is made on the break in this pocket or in this pocket, it does not win the game. It will spot up and the player will continue to shoot. If it's made in any of the other 4 pockets on the break, the game is won. All fouls are ball in hand. And Mr. Van Boening wins the break. This is rack your own, gentlemen, rack your own.
And here in the booth, I'm with Neil Fujiwara, and it's going to be a great match tonight, Neil.
It's going to be fantastic for sure. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Predator Cues, Simonis Cloth, Aramith Balls, Ashley Furniture, Hertz Rent-A-Car, Inside Pool, Radio 1, Billiard Factory, and ProPool.com providing the stats for the match.
Well, Shane won the leg, so he's get first break, and we were talking about his break earlier. He's really got a good moment on this break shot.
And he makes it look so easy too, just effortless.
Yeah, don't look like he really exerts himself. There's a lot of big breakers in the game, but a lot of them look like they're putting everything into it to keep it.
Right, that's a break you can do over and over again for hours at a time, and that kind of longevity and consistency is what wins matches and tournaments.
Yeah, that break's going to win a lot of money there. And look where he got that one back for that upper left-hand corner, and looks like right off the reel, the 2 ball is over here pretty close to the 10 ball on the left side of the table, on the lower half of the table. Look like the opening shot, the 1, 2, 3 is a little tricky. He's going to have to play really good position. He comes around 2 rails.
He pocketed 2 balls on the break, which is anybody who plays 10 ball knows how tough it is to make a ball on the break.
But I think he's froze on the rail here, where he might be when he plays the 2 going toward the 10, and that 6 is a big ball there. He may have to hit this with some speed.
Yeah, he might actually bump the 10, try and get a little bit more angle toward the 3.
Yeah, you called it. He double kissed it and got it out in the open.
It's pretty nice rub.
How do you like going from the 3 to the 4 here? You like soft spin or?
Yeah, just laying it up toward the center of the table. You know, give yourself almost a straight in shot so you can play the 6 ball in the. You know, pick your pocket either in the side or the corner after that.
Now he's ended up awful thin on this 4 ball for the side, so he's kind of on the 50-yard line, whether he cuts it in or banks it in. You like thinning this in the side the best, or?
Yeah, that way, you know, it's a natural path for the cue ball to come around. Playing under these conditions with the lights and everything, it's a lot different than the other tables. The TV lights dry out the table quite a bit. He chose a nice natural path on that. Got a little lucky.
One thing, he's fallen in some funny positions on these balls. He's got a pretty thin cut here inside.
You know, I like how you go down to the bottom rail, and the 8 ball actually acts as a stopper if he chooses to play it one rail and up toward the side pocket again.
Well, it looks like he's going to stay on this side. He's elevating. I think he's going to play the 7 in that lower right pocket, maybe. No, he went forward.
Oh, nice shot.
Played it in the left pocket. Now, you like to get on top of this 8, or you like to stay underneath there?
I like to get on top of it. I'd like to shoot it at the closest pocket possible, which would be the bottom right corner for us. It looks like he's playing the long shot.
He's a little bounce, not bad.
They call it the professional side, short side.
I like to get on top, but I think in that case he would have had to use reverse English. I don't like to use that reverse English over that natural.
Yeah, very, very true. You don't want to have to move the cue ball more or in an unnatural manner.
Now, it's not so bad. That ball was off a good end, so one thing you didn't have to worry about, wow, he's coming close to that side. Ouch.
It's an amazingly hard shot, and I bet you his heart's beating after that one.
Well, Shane makes this first 10. He'll end up leading the match 1-0.
Nice textbook out.
And he teased Bustamante a little bit with that last position shot on the 10. It was coming awful close, dangerously close to the side pocket.
Yeah. If there was a slight breeze in the pool room, it might have changed it in just a little bit. Good thing the air conditioning didn't kick on.
Tell you what, that last break, he stopped that cue ball on a dime.
Well, that's what he's known for, that patented break.
You play this guy along, man. You got your work cut out. I promise you that. Looking at that for several hours.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, this fun to watch, fun to play against.
You know, talking about that bank shots there in Jacksonville, when we get a break in action, I want to tell you a funny story about a guy down there.
This match's a little bit different, where they don't have a called position 2 and 3 balls on the rack. It's a random rack. You only need to place the 1 and the 10 in specific positions.
Okay, now break number 2, Shane Van Boening. He didn't hit that one quite a square, and also came up dry, but the 6 is blocking Francisco's shot on the 1 ball, so look for him to open with a push. Where do you like to push here, Neil?
I would honestly push. Yeah, he's kind of limited. That 6 ball's right in the face. You want to push it down toward this foot rail, but you're kind of limited. You know, you might even want to push to a jump shot. You might want to.
Kind of like keeping it simple. I kind of like just rolling over to clear the 6 a little bit to the right and freezing the cue ball on that rail. I would like to get down here on this other rail, but this lower right pocket, but boy, it's a little hard to get there.
Well, that's what I was mentioning.
And I don't want to leave him a foot off a rail on this 1 ball. You know what I mean? I'd rather. He's still going to have a little trouble making the 2 if he makes the 1, if he shoots and.
That's what I was thinking, leaving it straight in and long on the rail. Looks like he's.
I guess maybe he's. Did he call push out, or can he hit the edge? Okay.
Oh, he did exactly what you're talking about, leaving it on the bottom right. That's a great way of playing that.
I didn't realize he could get by that and hit that edge. I like that push out. I like this end better than the other end, but I didn't know he could get down here. Now, do you take this shot?
At this point, so early in the match, I would probably.
I like playing safe here and hooking him with the 6. Go up toward the chalk and go to the end rail and try to block with the 6 and put the 1 up with the 2 and the 3.
And that's what I was thinking. Definitely wouldn't try and pocket the ball. It's too risky of a shot early on in the match.
Well, I don't mind shooting at it if I win the game, if I make it, but making the 1 and then making the 2, that's 2 different questions there now.
Oh, definitely with the 5 ball there, you never know if you can go off of it and scratch, or if you hit it thick, pocket the 1 ball, you might go straight in the corner pocket.
Yeah, maybe he's afraid that he'll cut it into the 5, trying to do what I was talking about.
Exactly, and then that might leave a shot if he doesn't get perfectly behind the 6 ball.
Yeah, he got to get it up past the side to be safe.
Right. Doubly safe. Looks like he's going for the shot, though.
Yeah, I think he was.
Unintentional 2-way shot.
Yeah, I don't think this one's 2 ways here. I think he was thinking it might be a 2-way shot, but it hit the wrong side of the 4 there. It could have been, though. I thought there, and like you said, I thought his going to end up behind the 2 and the 4, but so Francisco comes to the table with a shot, and look for him to pocket the 1, just stop with the 4.
This table playing a little bit quicker than the ones out in the main arena. And that's something you don't see often.
No, that's a rare miss by Francisco.
Looked like he had a lot on his mind and didn't quite settle on the shot. He had a little bit going on and maybe didn't put 100% into the 1 ball being pocketed.
Where do you like to go here with the cue ball after you make the 1? Where you want to play the 2?
I'd play the 2 in the bottom right-hand corner, so I'm drawing the cue ball back 3 or 4 feet. Just in that fashion.
Is that what you were talking about, this lower right corner?
Correct.
Yeah.
I think he hit a little bit more than what he wanted to. But he might end up with a safety. Doesn't look like you can see all of the 2. Looks like you can see enough of it to make it and cut it into the corner pocket.
Boy, from where we're sitting, it almost looks like a dead scratch, but I know it probably isn't.
Right.
Almost looks like if you cut it in the corner, the cue ball goes in the side. But
yeah, you have to hit it thick. Well, maybe he's going to play safety out of it. Play total speed.
I was captain of the Moscone Cup last year, and one thing I know about Shane is safety is the last resort for him. He likes shooting at the hole.
Yeah, the best defense is good offense. Well, both players aren't known for their lack of firepower and shot making ability. They definitely come with it when the time's needed.
I think he's going for the jump cue here.
Looks like it. You can try a half masse, but your cue ball ends up down at the foot rail, so it really doesn't do you much good. With the jump cue, you can jump it, pocket the ball, and draw it, and get back toward the middle of the table. How many times have you been captain of the Moscone Cup team?
I think about...
That must be a fantastic feeling. I mean,
about
just
5, I believe, 4 or 5.
And just being on the team, period.
I believe.
Yeah. Something very, very patriotic.
I love that. I think that's my favorite Ben and Poole, that Moscone Cup.
Well, definitely. Anything team-wise like that, you have a lot of it riding on you and your teammates, and a lot of pride.
Well, Francisco certainly showed his expertise with the jumper there. He hit that 2 in nice and clean, and
that's you don't see Filipinos do a whole lot of for some reason. They definitely like kicking or massing a ball before they go to a jump cue.
I sell a lot of them small jumpers, but
ship a lot of them to the Philippines.
I think a better game is without it myself. But
yeah, it definitely does.
Old traditional thinking.
Well, I think
he made a good shot on the 3 after he made the 2, because it wasn't exactly a gimme. And
yeah, it's definitely a good shot. The table is playing quite a bit faster than the tables in the main arena.
Yeah, I almost feel like this cloth is a little different than what we played on out there. Usually, haven't been under the TV lights for a while playing, but usually under the TV lights, these tables are always a little bit slower because they're always drier and the ball comes off a little slower off a cushion, but I didn't find that to be true on this table today.
Well, that's another good thing.
I think this might be the new Simonis HR because it plays more like 760 than 860. It's a little faster speed because it's hard to believe that this table plays that much faster than the ones, but it does play fast.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and that's another good thing about you coming off the TV table match is that you have more insight than us sitting in the bleachers trying to guess how fast the table is. Do you stop this ball and shoot up in the corner pocket, or do you play the 9 ball up by the 10?
fault with that. I couldn't tell quite what angle he had, but I certainly didn't have trouble with him stopping his ball.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I wasn't sure how hard it would be to cheat the pocket to hold the cue ball. Definitely.
It's going to be 1-1, and the race tonight match is a race to 9 because these guys have both lost one match, and the loser side's a race to 9, and the winner side's a race to 11. And later tonight, we're going to see you get to see a good match between the two players left on the winner's side.
And that's really nice having such a long race too. There are a lot of tournaments with shorter races, and a race to 11 is you know, the better player is going to prevail. You know, you have a lot of pool to be played, and the stronger player, stronger minded, stronger body is going to succeed.
Yeah, I have to take my hat off to Bobby and Clark Roan and Louis Vecchio. Set these tournament up where the races are not length. The only thing that I thought might have been a little short was a 1 pocket, but these other races, 8 ball and a 10 ball, I don't think I've played many races in tournaments this long. It's kind of nice for a change. Instead, usually most tournament promoters are always trying to figure out how short they can make them.
Yeah, well, one thing you have to keep in consideration is the amount of tables that you have in order to accommodate that long race. You know, knowing you're not holding up matches because of the long races.
Well, that's another thing I have to compliment them on. Is most tournaments, it's almost like it's against the law when you get there to practice. There's no place to ever practice, and when I came here, I hadn't been playing much, but because they got 40, I think 41 9-footers here. There was always a place to practice, so I was able to start making a few balls after 3 or 4 days, and kind of nice to be able to practice whenever you want for a change.
Definitely. You can space it out where you're not doubled up on tables, and you can actually practice the way you want to on your own, and that's a very nice consideration that most people don't think about.
Okay, now on the left side of the screen, you got the 3 and the 7 there together. That's going to be a major problem with this rack. And the opening shot was Francisco hit that real nice. That wasn't certainly wasn't an easy shot right there. It was pretty in and cut for the corner, but he hasn't fallen on a good angle here. Now, Neil, how you like cutting it in that lower right corner and sending that cue ball over and spreading them out? You like like that shot?
Oh no, I'm thinking of safety here for sure. You thin the 2 ball toward the bottom rail and maybe kick out the 7 ball, try and get behind it, kick it out so you have a shot after that.
No guts, no glory.
Well, he looks like he's gonna aim for the combination. He's going all out.
Oh, he took what he thinks is a. I like that. I like that. That was very good. I think. Took a free shot at winning the game, and figures it's he figures he'll get back to the table.
Exactly, with the 3 ball being tied up. Even from here, I'm playing a little too tight.
I'm playing wide open tonight.
I bet you Shane's going to be doing the same thing as far as a combination, trying to end this rack early. I don't think anybody wants to mess up 3 ball.
I think the best they can probably do here is probably cross it and go back up the table and try to hook him with 3, 7, and 6 over here. Put it close to this lower left-hand corner pocket. That's one option, but I think he's doing something else.
You can tell you're a 1 pocket player just by your shot selection there. He tried to play put behind the 6 ball. Left and
now
low.
What?
Now, looks like Bustamante's lining up another combination. Do you think
nobody's real anxious to make us 2, are they?
No, not really. I mean, if he really feels free, I don't know if there's enough ball to shoot the 2 ball in the corner pocket and drop with bottom right and actually break out the 3 ball.
I don't think he can spread the angle here. Now, he might be able to go 2 rails and play cross corner and break it off his second rail, but he's going after the 10. He trying to take another pop at that 10.
And it looks like Bustamante's playing in ring game mode. Well, he got a good roll there though. 4 balls right in front of the 2 ball. Now on this shot, do you aim to kick the 2 ball in the side pocket? Do you go multiple rails?
I think I just try to keep it on a rail. In fact, I would have liked to have done the same thing that he did right there. I probably would have tried to get it over on the lower half of the table. Left side, that left rail kind of to the left of the 8.
Oh,
I would
okay.
have just kicked off and he kicked harder.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Kind of leg it up and off the rail.
Yeah, I just don't want to give him that break out of it. 3-7, if you leave it close to a hole, like say that 2's upside.
Yeah, you leave it.
I guess what he was doing, he tried to hit it hard enough to be sure that it didn't stop.
Right.
On the side, he wanted to get it on this end.
Right. And you definitely don't want to put the 2 ball too close to that cluster of balls and make it easy to play a safety and break it out.
Well, the easiest breakout position would be that left-hand side, and the next one would be that lower right corner if the ball gets close to there. Okay, Francisco says enough of this stuff. And he says time to move on.
Can make sure that the ball's not frozen to the rail.
I don't think it is.
It's off the rail.
Can he give a safe sign there?
Yeah.
He was waving his hand doing something. I don't know what that signal was.
Maybe there are flies around the table. He went to the rail first.
Yeah, he hit that paper thin, and I tell you, Shane, I don't know. That 6 is kind of blocking. He'd like to hook him with the 4, but I think the 6 is blocking his path. I don't think he can do that. I think the best thing he can do is just try to get it closest to the 7 as he can without getting it off the rail. I don't see how he can hook him. Of course, I may not be seeing the right angle. But.
Well, I know if Shane was trying to pocket the ball, he might actually, shoot the 3 ball 2 rails into the same side pocket where the 7 ball is. And try and do something with the cue ball, play the speed so that you have a 2-way shot. But I know he was looking at trying to pocket the 3 ball pocket. And 2 rails might be an option.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize that thing had enough room to go.
He overcut it too, so
wow,
yeah.
You're right. He hit the high point. Wow, from where we're, it didn't look like there was any chance to bank that ball, but you hit the nail on the head. He was looking to bank at. And now, what safety you like here?
I might even kick the 3 ball up toward the top rail. He played 2 rails and trying to get behind the 4 ball.
I think he got it far enough.
Yes.
Now, what do you like? Because you really got some choices on this 3 here. You can do lots of things.
Oh, definitely. Everybody has their own strengths. It looks like he's sized to cut it in the pocket. And again,
I kind of like that soft spin because you can win the game behind it, and you don't have to lose if it don't go as long as you hit it pretty thin.
Exactly.
I kind of like the choice here. I think this might be as effective safe as just playing safe, and if he cuts it in, he'll probably win this game. Could be a big reward here.
Exactly. The only bad part is, it's a low percentage that if he tries to cut the 3 ball in, it hits the points and sits in the hole. If not, then it'll come out toward the top rail. And
that's why I would kind of soft spin it and try to hit short of the side, and might come around here and play the 4 in the side. That's kind of the speed I would hit it.
Exactly.
I'd use a lot of spin. I wouldn't hit the center ball, but that's just a personal preference.
I trust your judgment.
He's hitting it fat, but he's going to come out just perf.
Yep, he played the speed, perfect speed.
But I don't know. Francisco's got a good chance to rehook him here. He's going to hit behind the 3 and drive it back up on this lower end. And
If he
may
hit,
not snooker him. I wouldn't even play the snooker here, I don't think. I think I'd play more distance.
he has an opportunity if he hits it well to do both. He did exactly what you were talking about. And he
Well, did snooker him.
Yeah.
That's a job well done there. That 4 is not that big a ball. Catching that 4 is that's kind of a bonus play there now.
Yes, it is. It takes a 6 ball out of play.
Certainly got the maximum out of that kick, huh?
Definitely.
Now Shane's kick is not quite as nice. You think he's trying to kick the 3 in here, or?
Well, he can. You hit it a little bit straight with the left English and create an angle. Play the 3 ball in the side pocket and possibly leave it safe in the same fashion Francisco did.
Problem is, if he cuts it that side, the cue ball's coming up table 2. Like that. That's why I think I might have kicked more to hit it full and hard and just hope I get lucky there, because it was hard to finesse that kick.
It is.
That's what he tried, but I just don't think the shot was on.
Right. Yeah, definitely a low percentage. But
I think I would just try to got lucky there and kicked it in that upper corner or some. There are 6 pockets out there. You always got to remember that.
He get lucky. And Francisco should.
That was a question Buddy Hall said one time. Buddy Hall, he was playing a match with Grady Matthews, and he had a cluster of balls together, and he didn't see a good safety, and he didn't see a good chance to make one. So he thought, well, I can put 4 or 5 balls in motion here real hard, and there's 6 pockets out there. He figured, I thought my best decision was to try to luck one in, and he says I did luck one in, and he not only run that rack but a few more. And Buddy says, now is that luck or is that skill?
Exactly. Yeah, if you plan on luck, is it really lucky? When's the last time you've talked to Buddy?
It's been a while.
I know you were
I haven't seen
pretty
him
close.
for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I miss him. I really miss him. I
He's
love watching that guy play.
He's entertaining for sure.
He got such a great personality.
Yep, very nice guy.
Maybe not when you're playing him, but
well, he doesn't cause a commotion. He doesn't say much, but
No.
yeah, his playing speaks volumes. And Francisco wins that game.
okay. The score is 2 games to 1, and
Looks like everybody's taking a slight break in the stands.
well, there's a lot of interaction that game, and Francisco came out on top, and a little cat and mouse.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both players were on top of their defensive game, trying to get an open shot, trying to get the first shot at the table. There weren't very many balls left, and with the 6 ball hanging, provided a good way out with the 7.
Okay, we're going to see Francisco's break again, and see if he can make any balls on the break, because he can lay the hammer down himself.
Definitely. Looks like Francisco's breaking with a predator break cue.
Yeah, he's breaking. Except he was reaching out. He was trying to dig in pretty hard there. He went after that pretty strong, and boy, you got to be thinking, man, he hit that awful good to come up dry, huh?
Good. He hit it nice and firm. He didn't hold back at all.
I'll tell you what, this rack, though, is not as easy as it looks. There's a little bit of back and forth here. He's pretty experienced one to begin with, and the 2's up at the side, a little pesticide tortoise on this lower end. And then the 3's closest to this lower left corner, and then the 4 and 5 are on opposite sides, and you get some blockers there, the 7 and the 10.
The 8 balls impeding. You have to tippy toe around a couple of balls and make sure you don't hook yourself.
I really like that shot. I like I agree with the Buddy Hall principle. If you keep shooting 2-foot shots, you'll beat the guy that's shooting 3-foot shots. Buddy just played that sharp position, and I like these shots. I wished I'd had a few more of these today.
Buddy's cue ball is legendary. He makes the game look very easy.
I tell you what, that shot was so good there, Shane hit that that could turn kind of a mean-looking rack into, it certainly looked a lot easier. Where he fell on the 2, the rack started looking a lot easier, huh?
Yeah, definitely. You know, when you're that close to the ball and it's almost straight in, you have a lot of options. And he took a couple balls straight out of play instead of being blockers. Now he left himself a deep shot, not a great shot, but definitely not, he didn't hook himself.
Yeah, he'd like to be 6s to the right, a little thicker on this 4, but one thing nice, all he's got to do is make it. He just go bounce off that second rail, and he should have position, should be almost automatic. Just pocket the 4, and he certainly did that.
Just like that.
Now here again, he's got to kind of soft spin this in and come up between the 6 and 7, and he once again, he's a little thinner than he would like. He could stay longer, I guess, and just fly out to the center. Not going to be closer to the, not too far above the foul line, but he's going to cut the distance. Looks like where he's aiming low on. Now he's a little too thick. What do you like to do here? You like to just soft spin it out, or do you like to draw back kind of on the path the cue ball's on and try to stop at time?
I like to use spin on this shot. Using bottom English, you tend to hit the ball a little bit hard, and you don't want to go, well, that's risky, in my opinion. I wouldn't do that. I'd feel pretty apprehensive.
Well, he did come dangerously close to the side. He comes a little shorter. He could bump the 7, and you don't always get a shot when you bump them balls.
Exactly, and you never know. It might have went straight in the side pocket, right in the drink. But the way these tables are playing nice and fast, so you know, it might have something to do with your shot selection. Changes your opinion on a couple different things.
Yeah, they are a little quick where you want to stay. You do, and maybe you want to stay closer to the center of the cue ball. I know that.
Definitely. Stay on the right side of the ball as much as possible.
You know, he's falling in a little bit of uncomfortable position here. He's either going to have to pound this in, or he's going to end up close to the rail on this next shot. I don't. Well, he looks like he's going forward, huh?
He's pounding it a little bit. Oh, he's going. You're right. He's going forward.
Yeah, I really wasn't thinking that direction until I seen him line it up. I seen that he was probably going to go forward. Yeah, I tell you what, I kind of like where he ended up. He can bridge real nice and basically just draw it back far enough, and he'll have a nice, easy shot on the 10.
Watch out for the side pocket.
Fell straight in angle, didn't he?
That was unexpected.
Bustamante, yeah, it's got to be happy.
Christmas time in September.
Yeah, really.
And Mr. Bustamante wins the 4th game. 3-1.
A friend of mine from a Chattanooga billiard club in Chattanooga, Tennessee, I was talking to him last night, and he said on these matches, he said he wished they had a graphic on the screen that where it had the score, because he said a lot of times you'll be watching, and he said you definitely need to mention the score, you know, as much as possible, because a lot of times they don't know what's happening.
That's true. A lot of people tune in, you know, mid-match or at some point in time, even if you lose the connection or something, and some time passes, you don't know if somebody's won a game or not. The score is now 1. Mr. Bustamante leads.
Well, now what do you do on this break?
You
try to hit it harder, or you take a little speed off, or you try to cut to 1? What do you do here to try to make one?
Well, it looks like you hit him harder and paid the price for it, and didn't make a ball either. Only only made the cue ball. It's amazing. He hit the last rack pretty firm, and he hit this one even harder, and with the same result, if not worse.
Okay, now this rack, that orange ball sitting right there in the center of the table, another end, looks to me that's going to be
the key ball.
A big key as far as running out this rack. Of course, that's making a big assumption.
Oh, well, he took care of that right away.
Oh, that was pretty good thinking. That was pretty clear there, opening up a pocket. That certainly makes it a lot easier. He has two pockets maybe. Well, I don't know if it goes in the left pocket either.
He gave himself a good opportunity there. He just played the straight pool tournament in Orlando not too long ago, so bumping balls for positioning, creating something, is something that he had to do there, and it carried over to this tournament. Looks like it passes by the 8-ball.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it goes by the 8 if it goes by the 9. Boy, he's drawn it plenty far there. He's kind of going a little bit, fighting going the wrong way here.
Yeah, a little bit. You turn the ball to avoid the 6. This shot's either really pretty or really ugly. Either lays it up very nicely or something bad happens.
See, I would go around the 9 here and just try to get to the center of the table. I wouldn't try to get any further.
He played the shot.
He hit it with a little inside, and he come all the way down. Job well done there.
That's what I was thinking he was doing, just lay it in. Natural path to the center of the table again. Play 7 in the bottom right corner.
I don't like to play that shot that way, but can't argue with how good he hit that. I don't like that reverse that well, and
it looks like he was a little bit straighter. Didn't have to kill it very much.
he's got a great angle here. He's nice and full on the ball, and
It'd be pretty textbook from here.
Yeah, just he can. Well, really, he could stop it or draw back 2 or 3 inches. He don't have to do much on the 8. He fell so good on it.
I'd like to draw it back a couple of inches. That way, you just go 1 rail for the 10-ball.
Yeah, I like that, but he's maybe a little thin. I don't know if he can. I think maybe he can stay and play that 10 in the lower right, because he definitely has a choice. He could come across too.
Right. With the way the tables are playing, I know as far as my patterns, I'd like to stay away from going multiple. Try and kill the cue ball. That way, you don't have any opportunities for scratching or getting out of line.
Well, the nice thing about coming up there 1 rail is you're going right toward your line. You're drawn right toward the line that you want to be on, where if you come across 1 rail.
Yeah, your margin for error is a little bit smaller that way.
Yeah. Well, if you can get where you can hit it halfway with a level stroke and close to the center, it's pretty easy. But boy, an inch or 2 can really change that if you just don't fall dead on.
If you don't go into the first rail with the correct angle, you can be off by as much as a foot on the opposite end. You might.
Okay, Shane comes back and he trails in the match now 2-3.
And they said it was random racking, but the 2 and the 3 have ended up in the same place with 4 players, in the same place in the rack. I know that's just coincidence. I guess the way they're falling in the trough.
Big difference here if that 3's a couple inches to the left here, huh?
Yes, definitely. With Shane being down 3, he'd definitely like an open shot on this one with it being so close to the corner pocket.
Yeah, sometime I'd like to use that hand mashy here and just get a free move. Just move that 3 over a couple inches to the left and, and motor on.
Yeah. I bet you it's been a long time since you got the hand span.
Got that one for a while.
The
push out here. Where do you push here?
Yeah, you push to a jump shot almost certainly. With it being so close to the pocket, safety's not an option really, or as a shot after the push.
This is so dangerous though, because if you're not careful, you look at the rail first, and boy, that's awful easy. That rail first, this angle is not very steep. I don't know.
That's why he's looking at the left side of the 7.
I'd almost like to put the cue ball about the middle diamond on that upper rail where he is going to have a hard time banking it across corner.
Oh, so you'd leave him on the same side of the table? Leave the cue ball up where Shane's bridging, basically.
I could be wrong, unless he gets it where he can't kick it. That's a challenge right off the reel.
Well, that's what.
Well, he's going to get this one and because he got it. He did. The problem is he hit it so good that now he's going to have to shoot, and he's too close to the rail. I think for this jump shot. Huh?
Yeah, getting off the rail like that with also close to the rail is very difficult, especially when you're trying to draw the ball.
I'd have to give this one back to him. What about you?
Definitely at this juncture, where he's down by a game. Well, being down by a game, this isn't that easy of a shot. You need to draw it back with some English to get position on the 2 ball.
Yeah, that's a pretty aggressive call here. He's not giving it back.
You hit it just even slightly too hard, and the cue ball goes off the table. He played that with some nice finesse. Got a nice finesse roll. Didn't leave an open pocket for the 1. Now, do you play the cue ball off the bottom rail and kick the carom?
You might have to. You might have to hit the one thing. Just try to get it up by the spot. Have it hit the rail over on the left and go over to the spot. And in fact, cue ball right back toward the 6.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And just leave him long. That might be the best you can do here, unless you can get underneath and play a billiard on that 4. Well, no, you can't do it, I don't think.
Doesn't have enough of the 1 ball?
Well, the 1 would need to be just, I think, a hair more to the right, where you could carom off the 1 ball and then play the 4 at the same time. Well, if you did that, then you could knock it up table anyway. So I don't think he can get in. I don't think the 1's off the rail enough just to drive it straight up table. Because, see, as long as the 1 stays on the side of the table, the left side of the center of the table, see, the 5's got that hole blocked. It only becomes pocketable, but I don't think he can get in.
It's a difficult situation.
He's going to do something else, which is...
Looks like he's kicking it off the left rail and trying to leave it.
He's hit full. Maybe he can make it. I don't know.
It's going to be a feathering safety if he...
Oh, I see.
Yeah. That is such a difficult...
I can't trust to roll that straight. There's no way I trust that. Yep. I'd rather hit them both 100 miles an hour than do that. Just.
I'd like to see that one day.
I think you can roll 9 foot and it's going to roll straight. That's asking a lot.
Yep, that's for sure. And that's a tough shot to watch when you shoot it, and watch your doom as it rolls either one way or another if the table does roll off.
Of course, he had something. If that ball hangs in the pocket, and he can't hit the edge of the 1, but he really had something pretty good. That'd be a challenge to hit, wouldn't it?
It's hard to hit. With the cue ball in the pocket like that, cuts off a lot of angles. Have to go up and down the table to the head rail, if anything.
Now, how do you like to play 5 to the 6?
Like to get as straight in as possible on the 5. That way you don't have to go to a rail if possible on the 6 ball.
And just play the 6 in the upper left pocket. Is that what you would do?
Yes. I like to leave the 5 ball straight in, play the 6 in the upper left-hand corner, and float up table for the 7.
Yeah.
Actually, don't hit a rail from this point. Looks like he's going to create an angle.
Let's see if he tries to play, like you said, float up, or if he tries to bounce off. I think he probably will play. I think I like your choice. I think.
Just stopping the ball there.
Well, I'd roll a little forward and hit a little bit of the rail. I think he's got an angle.
Just like that.
I don't think. Yeah, I like that.
We had the same intention, just depending on the angle, how it was laying.
Well, if he'd been straight enough, he probably would have done what you said. But I think he had to cut it a hair to be sure he made it.
Bustamante should have no problems with this.
Yeah, as long as you execute good, have good speed, this game, and you don't miss, this game's easy. It's only when you go that extra 6 inches or a foot sometime, or...
Both players have such good finesse strokes.
Well, they certainly have powerful strokes. And they got dynamite power games.
Nice to have all those tools in your tool chest. Be able to hit the ball as hard as you want to, or have the nice touch. And Bustamante takes game number 6, lead 4 games to 2.
Okay, once again, this is a race to 9. This is the loser side, and they cut the race down a couple games, but race 9 and 10 ball still a real nice length of a race.
Definitely, they're just about an hour into the match, and the score is 4-2.
Anyway, I won't say his name. I don't want to embarrass him, but I was at the bank shots, and it beat David Grossman, the guy you mentioned earlier. He said, "Man, I played so hard." He says, "I never played you." He says, I'm looking so forward to playing you." And anyway, after the match, I think he only won like 1 game or something. He came up to me and he shook my hand, and he's real nice, and he said, "You know, that wasn't near as much fun as I thought it was going to be."
And your thing now is the most fun match you ever played. I can just see him saying that too. All right. Looks like Bustamante's changing position. He came up dry on the last 2 breaks, hitting him hard and harder.
I don't like this break position. I know he hits them good from here too, but I like that other break better. But after 2 dry breaks, he decided to try something else, huh?
One thing that's surprising, neither one of them are looking at the rack to see what gaps, if any, there are. That was pretty successful.
The results there real good. Made 3 balls. Great shot on the 2. Just go across the table and come back across and just get halfway close to full on the 4. Absolutely. That's one thing on fast tables I try to do. If possible, I mean, there's an exception always to everything you say, but I try to always stay fuller on an object ball on faster tables. Of course, that's not bad advice for any table.
Well, it helps you control the cue ball a little bit more. Nice shot there. Now, do you draw the ball out of this 2 rails, or do you play it naturally?
Yeah, I think the 10's in the way here.
Okay.
I don't think you can float forward. I think you're going to have to draw deep in the corner and come back out. I would have went 1 rail if the 10 wasn't in the way.
I wasn't sure if it was in the way. I have sometimes it's hard to tell, you know, depending on how thick and how thin you hit the ball.
Oh, I get fooled all the time up here. I think it's one angle and it turns out to be another, and plus the way I play shots, a lot of players they prefer a different way, and there's not always one way's right and one way's wrong. Sometimes
depends on how you feel at the time, playing the correct shot. And get that one a little thin. And Bustamante should have no problems drawing the cue ball back.
As long as he's not drawn toward that corner pocket, that upper left corner. That happened to Shane in the side pocket earlier where he fell on an angle and he had to get back far enough. And
it's going toward the corner.
It's in the corner. He drew that in the corner.
Wow.
It's the same. See?
Same shot. You called it exactly.
Yeah, if he would be lined up toward the rail and a hanger, but boy, nobody likes to draw toward those corners. But at the same time, you're kind of in a catch-22 there, because if you ease off of it and you stop in the middle of the table, now you don't even have a shot on the 10.
Exactly. Or if you try and cheat the pocket too much, you rattle it and lose the game that way. Wow, very big surprise there.
Yeah, that Shane got the favor returned. What was that? You said Christmas in September.
Well, they're both very fierce individuals.
So anyway, the score now, boy, that certainly was a big game for Shane as far as keeping him close in the hunt. He trails now, what, 3-4, Neil?
Correct. Instead of 5-2 with Bustamante breaking and leading.
Wow, that's just look at the simple math on that. 5-2, 4-3. If it's 5-2, that means that Shane has to beat him 7-3.
Correct.
7-3. He's got more than 2-1, the best of it. 4-3 with him breaking, he actually might be a slight favorite.
Exactly. And especially coming
instead
off
of a 2-1 underdog. A lot of people don't realize. They say this shot's important or this game's important. Man, they're all every game is like a 2-game swing. It's
not only that, but Bustamante just found a break that worked tremendously, and coming off a break and run, you know, and he was leading 5-2 and could have ran away with the match from that point.
But that's tough when you get lined up at them pockets. We've seen it happen twice in this match where their position, you have to say it's almost too good. They fell so straight in that the cue balls lined up where they're drawn toward a pocket, and seen that ball. I seen it. It looked like it was on the downhill slope. I seen it wasn't going to stop.
You called it.
Now Shane seems to be having success from here. Boosty changed his position last time, and like you say, really had a lot of success. But Shane doesn't seem to be having much trouble. Let's see.
Not pocketing.
He got froze against that 3. Remember last time, Neil? He had a real nice position on the 1, except the 3 got against the cue ball. Now he made the 3, and he comes over. If he can see this, I look for him to go this. Now, how do you like to play this? You got a couple of choices.
Absolutely.
I think I'd have to hit this one. Even if I don't like reverse, I'd hit it with reverse and just try to come straight up one rail for the 3-9 pocket.
Well, the nice thing about that option is if you miss it, you're leaving the cue ball along the side rail. And even if you hang the hole, you're leaving him a kick shot.
Yeah, if you get the cue ball over on that rail, yeah, you could snooker him. He may be going outside here, but it looks like awful thin to me.
It's thin in the way the tables are playing with the rails being so fast. Well, he looked like he'd try to go around the world.
See, I can't do that. I just,
yeah,
I can't play hoping I get a shot like that.
Oh, come on now. You're talking about kicking balls and trying to get lucky and hitting things 100 miles an hour, and now it's...
Well, that's if it's the best option, but there I like playing position on the ball, not just...
That's
can come short of the 4 there. See,
well, if he kills immensely with a ton of English, which diminishes your chance of making the ball.
Well, that's one thing. What he did, it gives you a better chance to pocket the shot. And if he can hit this 3, he's wow, what a great shot that was, man!
Just speared it straight in the hole.
He hit that warp speed. Wow.
Yes, he did.
What a shot that was.
He didn't get too much of a reward though. Like he's on the bad side of the ball. Probably play the combination pretty.
Well, I'd hate to have to play that one for my lunch money there.
He must be feeling pretty good after getting that gift wrapped present from Bustamante.
Man, he hit that 3 good. Wow, these pockets are tight, and man,
anything against the rail like that is liable to rattle.
But he's found himself where, oh my gosh, he's thinking about playing a mass save. To get down, he's straight in, I guess.
Well, I got a roll to finiate and actually pocket the 4 ball after hitting the 8 ball. Didn't quite do what he wanted with the cue ball, but he should be thankful just to be at the table.
Wouldn't think that he was trying to hit the 8 there. He's, I think, a little fortunate that it went in.
Just a little bit.
But he sure got good. Of course, he's still a little bit thin on this 5 now.
Yeah, he goes up and down without touching anything. Looks like a pretty natural shot. Well, like he hit a little bit thinner than he wanted to and bumped to 7.
Now there's a gentleman to my left here, and does that 6 go by the 8? Like a half a pocket or a full pocket or 3/4?
Less than that? Less than that?
Oh, wow.
And we might be seeing a safety here, playing the cue ball behind the 8 ball off the left-hand rail.
Shoot, if I had enough guts to shoot the 3 like he did, I'd just go ahead and shoot that 6 in that right pocket.
Looks like that's what
Swing
he's lining
around
up.
3 rails. I certainly wouldn't duck on this ball.
Yeah, that's what he's aiming to do. He must have taken the Nick Barnhurst offensive pull.
I don't like safe here.
He's rearranging the furniture and getting a shot.
That was nicely done there. That was, I want to tell you one thing. If he gets out here, he's made just a really, he's earned this game.
And there's a nice little grin from Shane Van Boening. Don't see him smile that often, but you don't see people.
He sure seems like a nice guy. And he sure can play this pool.
Absolutely. He's just, in the last few years, just dominated. Seems like he came out of there to make a name for himself.
Yeah, if he's, if I'm the team cap, well, I hope he's on there anyway, but if I'm a team captain this year of the Moscone Cup team, I hope he's on the team, I can tell you that.
Nice and straight.
Well, we got a tie game here, don't we, Neil? 4-4?
Yes, we do.
And we're now.
He got 10 balls so nicely. Four games apiece. You can tell Shane's hitting the ball pretty sporty with that 10-ball shot alone. The way it was pocketed, just very clean, nothing, not jumping up at all, staying down on the ball, delivering, just a perfect shot.
Well, you said it earlier, the best defense, good offense, and really showed it that rack on both the 3-ball and that 6.
And here I am still playing too tight. I was thinking about playing a safety on the 6-ball. And
I think the guys, if you watch the guys that win over time, I think you're going to find out that they shoot a lot of high-risk shots, a lot.
Yeah, they don't want to let anybody to the table. If you don't get to the table, you don't.
Guys that play safe,
win.
guys that play safe too much. It just seems like they may get there once in a while to the winner's circle, but not with any regularity, because especially on fast tables like this, Niels, if you just make contact and shoot hard, you can get safe anyway.
Some good things might happen.
Like on that 3-ball, he played in that upper right corner. If it don't go in, he didn't have to leave Bustamante a shot because he's coming all the way back to this end. So,
absolutely. And
I used to think those type of shots is like a free shot anyway.
And when we saw he pocketed the 6-ball and bumped a couple balls and got a great shot on the 7. So you play, what do you do with this, Nick? You play it all the way down?
I play it off the 3 and just follow it down. I can't tell if he...
I don't think the 2-ball goes.
I don't know if he can play position on the 2, but I think he can because he's got to cut it, I think, a little to the left. The right rail and kiss in off the 3, and then when he kisses the 3, it's going to open up the hole.
So you're saying you
see the
play position
angle
on the
he's
2.
on there? Yeah, I'd play
Right.
position on the 2 here.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, play the 1 ball, maybe
Just
even
see
off
where-
the rail, off
see
the
where-
3.
See where the line of his cue was there? It was a little to the right of the cue ball, not much, but he
Right.
does have some angle that'll bring the cue ball closer to the middle of
I think he's playing the 1 off the rail, off the 3, and that therefore creating an angle with the cue ball for it to be straight in on the 2
Yeah,
after clearing the pocket.
Yeah, I love this choice.
It's exciting. You can see the determination in his face.
Yeah, well, he wins the game. This is like shooting at the 10 here.
Get it a little thick. Get it a little fast.
Well, oh my gosh.
Well, he
it
might
felt
end up,
good.
yeah.
I started to say that he's going to play a little unlucky, but I think he's okay. He's got a real, I think, makeable. I think he likes this shot just fine. I think the most thing he'll be worried about here is position on the 2 after he makes a 3 in the side.
Exactly.
I don't know if he's laying so good for that.
Well, it looks like you can stop the 2 ball and the 2 ball float up table toward the middle of the table, and he can shoot up in that top left-hand corner.
Or he might just kind of punch it in, but it looks like it has to go a little bit to the left of 2. He might be able to hold it for the right pocket. No. Oh, wow. Now there's a case where
he might have been thinking about future events.
Yeah, I think he was focusing too much on where the 2 went instead of.
Wow.
Of course, I've done that a million times.
That's a very surprising miss.
Huge. They give him a chance to pull ahead. Now Bustamante, unless he gets out of line on the 2 here after he makes it.
He's using a little bit of body English there. Ended up with a decent shot. Float back out to the middle of the table.
That's interesting, the speed he hit that shot, because I was thinking in my mind just row the 2 at the 8, leave it close to the hole there, but kind of interested. He chose to hit it with speed.
You're absolutely right.
How do you like to play that particular shot?
I would have rolled it pocket speed, just try and keep everything under control. I guess he wanted the 2 ball back on this side of the table, make it a little bit easier, but you open up a lot of possibilities for a bad roll.
I guess he must have been worried about maybe one of those where it would roll to the right there and get froze on the rail, and he'd be over here where
maybe
he's going deep here.
Yep.
Wow, he
or maybe just like
shows you how fast this table is, because he's really disappointed with that outcome, because he already had this game marked up here.
Maybe.
Now, what do you do here? You play safe and try to bring the 5 up table and hook him with the 7. What option you like here?
I would play the 5 off the 7 in the corner pocket and leave your cue ball along the side rail, and the 7 ball along the side rail. I'd flap my arms and fly to the moon. It looks like he's playing a safety right behind the 7 ball, rolling at 6 inches.
Well, you're drinking water too.
Yeah. Well, that was an even better shot created. Yeah, exactly.
I thought you had some high test in that bottle over there.
Oh no. Stuff I have at home would melt this water bottle. That was a great shot. He wanted to make sure he separated the balls by a decent amount of distance if he didn't get the safety. Went to the rail, back off of it behind a 7.
He's got a chance to get away here. Of course, anytime you kick, got that chance. You got some choices which way to go here.
I bet you he's looking at that 10 ball to either playing it 2 rails and off the back of the bottom of the 5 and into the 10 ball area. So you pocket the 5 ball or pocket the 10 ball possibly.
Yeah, I kind of like that. And you might even, if you go by the 10, you might even put it on the upper rail and be blocking with the 10.
Exactly.
Lots of good things can happen on this shot.
Yeah, and if you're intending to hit the ball full and stop the cue ball.
At least for Shane, a lot of good things can happen. And
yeah. Let's see. You can see the animation in his face. I mean, he's just very determined. He really wants to win this match.
He was playing.
Came close.
He was trying to play to get lucky. I don't see anything wrong with that. It didn't work out this time, but it's not like he was in an ideal position to begin with.
Yep. Yeah, he made the most of it. Gave it.
Put it in motion, the money ball, didn't he?
Came it as close as possible. Looks like the flies. Galveston has a good amount of insect life. Mosquitoes and flies, pretty prevalent here. Should be no problem to.
Well, that's safety. Never underestimate the value of a safety when you're playing this game, because that one won Francisco the game. That safety paid big dividends.
On this shot, do you? I know this is a pretty simple shot, but do you draw it, or do you go top left?
I would just kind of punch it in.
Okay.
With a little spin, just about like he hit it.
Okay.
That way the cue ball holds its line real good, and you don't lose the cue ball. And he shot just hard enough; it's not going to roll off. I really like the speed that he played that shot.
Definitely.
People don't realize how much there really is this game. It's simply pocketing speed and where you're trying to go, which pocket you're playing balls in. There's a lot of decision making in this game.
Playing the right line is key. That's for sure. The way the tables are playing these days, the diamond tables are no picnic. Their pockets are very tight. The slate goes down pretty far into the hole, so you can hang up balls deep.
Well, the score is 5-4, and it looks like we got a break in the action.
I would like to thank our sponsors.
Francisco's ahead 5-4. Go ahead, Neil.
Okay, let's see. Let's read them off the board here. Ashley Furniture. They have a nice set of furniture out in the lobby area where you have a chance to win $15,000 worth of furniture.
Poison. I bought some tickets on that. I'd like to win that.
Did you? I wonder when they're having the drawing for that.
I think he said Sunday, I believe.
Oh, good.
Tomorrow.
Hope you win. Would be nice. Does Ashley Furniture make pool tables?
I don't think so.
Poison Cues, Predator Cues, main sponsors. The Billiard Factory, based here in Texas. Hertz Rent-A-Car, the official car of the Galveston World Classic. The stats, if you go to theworldclassic.com, they have stats on the players. ProPool.com are providing those. Radio 1 Inside Pool Magazine is here, providing free magazines for the people here.
Somebody on the internet here says, what kind of furniture? Well, they got living room furniture, some great leather stuff, and they got dining room stuff and some lamps and
anything you could think of.
Living and dining is what I've seen so far. At first, I thought it was just the leather couches and stuff, and then I looked in another spot. They got more furniture. I was thinking, boy, that's a lot, 15,000. But after I seen the second
set, right?
Second set, what they were talking about, and boy, it's gorgeous too. That's some pretty stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I think $15,000 will go pretty quickly if you're trying to fill a house, and I'm sure your wife will have a pretty good time with that.
Yeah, we're getting ready to move into a home. Since I moved back from Florida, we've been living in an apartment, but we're going to be buying a home next month, so
that'd be perfect.
We could use a few
nice.
pieces.
I want to give a shout out to, let's see, we see Tony Crosby here on the forum, all the people in Jacksonville. Hey guys. Pretty fun to be on this live broadcast for the first time.
Oh, this first time?
Yeah, first time.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do my best here.
Well, you've been doing a great job. Well, your knowledge of the game and stuff makes it pretty easy for you. You're a real knowledgeable player, and
well, I got lucky to be paired with you. Honestly, I was very happy with that because you obviously have more knowledge of the game than I do, but also you have good insight and are verbal about it. It's a pleasure. Pleasure to be working.
Well, thanks for the compliment, Neil. And the same goes. What's the old saying? Ditto.
They had a very nice venue here. Very, very nice. Huge layout, 40 some odd 9-foot tables, and a plethora of
And more than
7-foot
that
tables.
on the and more than that on the 7-foots, didn't they? Didn't they have more tables than that?
Yeah, definitely. They took some of them out, but we can see from here at least 40 some odd 7-foot tables. Yeah, I definitely got lucky being paired with Mr. Varner. Mr. Varner's a rock. Yeah, definitely. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes, folks.
Okay, we're back with the match. Francisco Bustamante, he broke so good the last time he broke from this spot, and he actually ended up losing the game. But boy, he ended up with good position, that rack and stuff. Now this time he may come up. Well, he's got a chance with the 9 here, but no, it's going to stop a little short. Back, he might have been better. Well, I don't know if he can hit the edge of this one, and. I'm Nick Varner, back with the action, and my partner here in the booth, Neil.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know if he can get the outside edge of this one, cut that in the side. I can't tell if it's a dead scratch. From here, it looks like it's not a very good shot.
I believe he's completely hidden by the 6-ball.
Is he?
My angle.
Yeah, I can't tell if that outside edge is hanging out, and even if it's hanging out, I can't tell if he cuts it there, if it'll go in this pocket where Francisco is standing by it. But
either way, it's
let's
a pretty tough
assume
decision.
that. Let's say that it don't go. Where do you push out the cue ball here?
I think that's what he was looking at from that angle, is where to put the cue ball. That way, he's looking at all the options. And that's a pretty good area. You know, you play. You put it down on the left-hand side. You play safety after that.
Well, he was standing by this corner, I think, thinking he might put the cue close to this corner, maybe a little to the right. And he's trying to keep from locking himself up here. He don't want to give Shane a chance to put him in a position he can't recover from. But then he certainly don't want Shane shooting at the hole.
Right. give this shot back, or do you take it? What do you do with this shot, Nick?
Let's see here. Now he's got me snookered a little bit. I just think I should ask him to move over a little so I can see the shot. No, I just
Yeah,
kidding.
here I have a paper towel. Hit him in the.
Yeah, he's got me snookered here. Well, maybe you can see it. You tell me what you'd do here. Oh, I can see it now.
This is no picnic.
Yeah, I think.
Safety's not. Nothing's jumping out. At least not to me. Well, you have.
I don't see anything super effective, but maybe I'm missing something.
Maybe play the cue ball off the right-hand rail, or trying to get behind the 7 ball.
Yeah, if you get behind the 7, that would be nice. But that's interesting. I like that.
If. Ooh.
Yeah, I need a coach to play this game.
Right, yeah.
That was a great shot here. Yeah, that was nice and creative. That was.
Maybe you should have his phone number on speed dial.
Yeah, really.
You need
I
to
like that safety.
phone a friend.
Now he can hit it, I think, and where do you go here? Because you got some options here.
Most likely, I try and thin the ball. I know it's not the easiest from this distance, but you have a ton of blocker balls going 2 rails. You may even try and bank the 1 ball straight in the corner pocket and put the cue ball up by the 2 ball.
I like that. I like playing in this lower left pocket. But he's just going to cross it and hopefully snooker him. And boy, he's got the maximum out of that shot.
Yeah,
wow.
He had a couple different options there. The cue ball has a chance to get behind the 5, or like what it did, either get behind the 10 or go off the 10.
That's the thing about this game there. Like, you know, I knew he was crossing and trying to snooker him, but I think he was thinking really more about. I don't think he was planning on brushing that ball, but it certainly worked out good. So, sometime on this safety play, there's a lot of you can have good fortune and bad fortune.
Yep, just try and give yourself the best opportunity and highest chance of something good happening.
Well, I don't see anything. I think he's got to try to kick it in this lower left-hand corner. That's all I'd try. Because the 3, you could try to hit it full, but the 3 is blocking that to play safe. I think you just got to try to make it and hope something good happens.
Yeah, I was going to say he has a good chance of hitting it, hitting the 1 and stopping the ball.
And I think he was kind of forced to shoot that hard because the 3 had him kind of stalemated there where it was going to make the cue ball stop where we see it right now. And but Francisco, he's going to probably, you think he can cut it in the side and run into the 8 and stop and have position on the 2? You think that option's in play here or not? Or is he going to just try to duck behind the 8?
I would honestly duck. It looks like, even though it looks like he's looking like he's shooting at the 1 ball, if he hits the left side of the 8 ball, which that's what it looks like he's going to do, he might not leave off a shot on the 2. Well, he hit it full.
Yeah, that's a little hard luck there. He hit that nice, and it's hard to do. That's hard to hit the ball that good where you can't even hit a piece of the 2.
I didn't even think he could hit that much of the pocket the 1 ball and get that much of the 8 ball, and he hit it square in the face.
Yeah, he hit the 1 a little full and in the right side of that side pocket, so that's what allowed him to do it. But I'm like you, I didn't think that he could hit it that full.
Honestly, it's
soft kick here is about all he's got, isn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes it's the last thing in our, we don't even see something, and that's what happens. It's the last thing you think is going to happen, and all of a sudden you're surprised by the shot. You're like, wow, the last thing I thought was ever going to happen. And I guess the chances are better than you think because it happened. He's thinking about this long and hard. If he's thinking about just pushing the 2 8 up to the 2.
Evidently he's not crazy about the option I suggested, soft kick it to 2. But boy, if he tries to tie this up, it could end up dead here.
You know what I'm thinking?
It's already tied up pretty good.
Yeah.
What?
Well, no, I thought maybe he was looking from that angle, doing a slight masse, kicking the 2 out. Oh, I see what he was looking at now. hitting it at that speed and kicking the cue ball up toward where the 3 is. That's why he was looking at that angle, trying to see what kind of shot he would leave if he thinned the 2 and put the cue ball up by the 3.
Yeah.
Because I guess he felt comfortable, you know, if this happened, that Shane wouldn't necessarily run out. This is no picnic.
Yeah, I can't tell how close it looks like to me. He's trying to cut it in the corner. Where I'm sitting, I certainly can't tell. I guess there's enough room in there.
There's barely enough room to go back and forth.
He'll have to play that 3 in this left pocket because he can't get steep enough to clear that 10, I don't think, for the right pocket. He'll have to come across, which is okay, because he's placing it with his hand, so he's got a nice close shot. I like that if he goes. As long as he can make a good hit here, why not? I bet he makes the 2 unless it's
Would you be
makes
tempted,
a bad hit.
Yeah, would you be tempted to shoot the 2-8 combination? Because, I mean, no?
No, I'd freeze that wide on the 8 if I wasn't going to shoot it, but I wouldn't play safe there.
Okay.
With these jump cues.
Oh, I meant playing the 2-8 combination in the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I didn't like the way that was laying because the 2 was closer to the rail than the 8.
I see.
If it had been laying up a little better, yeah. If it had been lined up a little better, but the 2 was
closer.
Yeah. I like it in reverse. I like it where it's either even or out a little bit.
See, going into the rail.
And I don't like going that way with that combination, Neil. I don't like playing it past the point and all that. If I was shooting it in the upper right, then if the balls were reversed,
it's a much more favorable situation.
But you got so much further to go.
Yeah.
When you go by that side.
Absolutely. Nothing's getting in your way. And it looks like he's in.
Well, you got lots of choices here. You can just go one rail, come back up, and try to get an angle and play the 8 in this lower right pocket, or you can spin around 2 rails and try to come back out and get an angle on the 7. What do you like to do here, Neil?
I just put a little bit of right-hand English and come out 2 rails. Pretty much the opposite of what Shane just did.
Well, I find no fault with that. His speed was so good, though, is what made that option so good. I mean, that's not... It always looks easy when they execute perfectly, but what great speed that was.
Absolutely. Got the perfect angle he wanted.
I tell you, on these tighter pockets, there's a lot to be said for getting an angle like here. He can just roll that in the corner and follow down. Where when you got to come with that power, that pocket tends to shrink on you a little bit.
Definitely. We were playing down in Cape Coral at Diamond Billiards, and the tables were playing extremely tough. The bed of the felt was playing slow. The rails were playing very fast, and Meeman and Shane Van Boening were just playing flawless pool. Flawless. Just floating around the table while us other players were dying. Absolutely dying. Making it look easy. Yeah, look easy. Don't know if the pockets are 4 1/4 inches, but they're definitely tight.
Somebody said they were 4 1/4. I didn't check them when I played. They didn't seem that much tighter to me than the ones out here, but that might be because maybe this cloth's a little newer and the table's a little drier.
Yeah, ball may hit the rail and go in a little bit easier than out in the main arena, where it's a little bit more humid.
Well, we got a tie game again, 5-5, and so now we got to whoever can score the best.
Absolutely, and Shane has been working just fine.
Yeah, I'd certainly like to have this break myself.
Well, if he doesn't get a bad roll like he got a couple of times, his one ball's been pretty consistent up in that corner pocket area.
Yeah. It's a lot of times, you know, his ball jumps back, so then the one comes straight back up toward that pocket, and now he cut that a hair. And he might have did it intentional, but boy, he hasn't played real lucky off his break, has he? And that time he actually came up dry, which that don't happen too often, does it?
Well, he's got to smile about that one, because, again, he's married to a ball.
Well, he's better off. Yeah. He's better off that he didn't make one. That's where the cue ball is going to be, because he'd have to push out.
Absolutely. Not very many opportunities after the break, either pocketing a ball or not.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting push out right here. Any thoughts, Neil?
Pretty difficult, because there are a lot of balls in play. The 4-2, 8-6, if you try and put the ball anywhere down on this foot rail. There's just like Swiss cheese. There are holes everywhere, but very small.
I like to roll. Oh no, you can't. I got blocked by the 10. I was going to say I'd like to roll down and hit the 7 and play for that kick up table.
Like he's pushing right the 9 ball or hitting the 9 ball.
Yeah, I'd say he's trying to hit it where he's going to kick to the end rail. Try to get it. Well, what is he going to try to do with this kick here? Is
I think he can
not going to try to kick it in, is he?
No, I think he can see a sliver of it. If he can, maybe he'll play the one close to where the chalk is at the top rail and put the cue ball 1-2 rails behind the 5-10. Where you draw it to the side rail and kind of kill it and have it float over to where the 5-10 is.
I guess maybe he's thinking he can hit enough of this to send the one up table. I don't know. Boy, from where I'm sitting,
that's what it looks like. It
doesn't look like he can hit it that full, but
he's pointing his cue at it.
This is going to be interesting to see the result here.
I believe he's playing for the cue ball behind the 5-10. If he can see enough of that ball.
Cue ball.
Yeah.
He can, boy, he's got to curve it around to do that, doesn't he?
That's a touchy shot.
Because if he could see the whole ball, he'd just cut it in.
Right. Looks like he changed his mind.
He's off spinning around there. And well, I don't know how you get up that high, though.
Yep.
And evidently it's no picnic, because he's turned down the shot. And the jump shot's in play here, but it's a long one, and you got to cut the one quite a bit. I look for some kind of kick here. He could try. Now he could try to kick behind it and send the cue ball maybe over behind the. I don't know if he can hit it full enough over from this angle. I don't think he can get it behind the 5-10 here.
Well, we'll find out in about 10 seconds. Well, that's what he was trying to do. Got a little bit squirrely with the one ball.
Can't tell if the 9's on.
It looks like it's a pretty good shot.
He can make that billiard on the 9 here off the 1.
Right, now it's just a matter of cue ball, or the one ball going into the rail and playing up by the 2-6-8, where it's going to end up. And headed that direction. And I honestly thought he was going to draw the cue ball off the 1-9, but then you lose a little bit of control.
I don't think he can make the 1 if he did that. I think that would. I think he would have hit the 9 if he did that. You know, I think he would have hit the 9 too and wouldn't have made it with the low. I think he had to hit it with the high to be able to make the ball. I don't think he had that luxury.
Yep, judging by where the cue ball went, you're right. He had to hit it like that, so he made sure he pocketed the 9 ball.
This is a hard shot to get him behind a 10 here. I think that's what he's going to try. Boy, what a boy! You got to have some finesse on this shot now.
He was just aiming to pocket the 1 ball, playing position for the 2 ball in the side pocket.
Does it go by the 2? Oh, no, he's putting the 1 over there. I like that.
Well, that was a very solid shot.
That was solid, safe air.
A lot of blocker
Only
balls.
bad thing about this, your opponent can get it. Your opponent. Now, would you kick this and try to snooker him with the 10, or would you pound it, or?
No, I'd try and put the cue ball or put the 1 ball on the opposite side of the 10. You know,
Soft kick.
Exactly, because even if you don't leave it dead safe, you can kick it hard enough to that it doesn't leave a pocket. The 7 ball's blocking the pocket.
Oh man, that's nicely done.
Or you can just hit it perfectly like that. And,
that's the way I was thinking he was probably going to kick at it, and you have to hit the ball full to do that. If you do it in, that won't happen.
Absolutely, you just leave both balls on the rail.
But the nice thing about that was the only pocket the 1 would go to the left-hand side. If it gets by the side, tell you what, this looks a little tough to hit.
2 balls.
That 2.
Very big. He's got to bend the cue ball. Tried to stiff it and shorten it up a little bit, and was a little bit too successful.
Yeah, Bustamante's got ball in, and the score is 5-5. If he wins the game, he might go for. You think he'll go for a sharp game here on the 10?
Absolutely. They're a little too close for him to pass that up.
It certainly saves a lot of wear and tear on your nerves.
I mean, this shot, I wouldn't say it's easy, but I think it's easier than the run out. Nice, perfect speed. Nice shot. And Mr. Bustamante is leading 6 games to 5.
He's in the lead 6-5. Shane's coming back and tying it up, but he hasn't been able to get back in the lead for quite some time, since I think game 1 maybe.
Yeah, there have been some great back and forth battles, and no one's really pulling ahead. They both gave each other a couple of gifts, but other than that, they're playing great pool, and it's a tight match. And from the forum, Efren is not in the 10-ball tournament anymore. And hello, Melinda. How are you doing? And Mr. Bustamante will be breaking from the right-hand rail again. He found some success there after wandering around on the other side of the table.
Yeah, but he came up dry from over here, I think, last time.
Oh, and he scratched one time also?
Might have.
Oh, they all tried to go into the side pocket. And
boy,
nobody wanted to go.
You know, the rule on the 10-ball in this tournament is you win. That thing almost went in that left-hand side. They're playing here. The only place it goes that you don't win is these 2 lower pockets where the balls are racked, but the other 4 pockets are open for the win, and boy, that 10 flew out of that rack that time, did it?
Everything flew around the table. I mean, there were 3 or 4 balls heading toward that side pocket, and they all jammed up and nothing went in. And it's interesting that you brought up, Nick, as far as the 10-ball. At first, they wanted, at the players' meeting, they called it that the 10-ball would count in any pocket.
Well, that would be a nightmare.
Yeah, playing rack your own.
That would be a nightmare for him. The rack would turn into
a lot of controversy.
So much controversy, and the matches would last so much longer. You just can't do that. Well, you won that Seminole tournament. Wow, he went for the gusto there.
Yeah, he did.
Wow,
Tried a 2-way shot.
Wow. Yeah, and he got away. Well, you think a little bit about using the jump cue here, don't you?
If you're tall enough, absolutely.
I think he can reach that, but...
And that was a great opportunity for Shane to carry him that 10-ball.
Well, you won that Seminole tournament. I thought the Seminoles played you can't win on the break, that it spots if it goes in. Is that still the rule, or?
Yes, it doesn't count on the break at all.
Yeah, I think that's the best rule of all. But I can live with this one.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, he's not going to get a rail. Shane's
It's a lot better than the
going to
10-ball
get
counting.
ball in hand here, and boy, all the action's going to be what happens to those two balls on the upper end rail. The ball on the left is a 3, the one on the right's the 9. So Shane's got ball in hand on the 1, but he's going to have to play a really good angle, because I think he's going to have to play the 3-9 combination. He's going to have to get over. It'd be nice if he could get just on that end rail, where he's pretty close to the 3-9, and I think he can make it with the 3 for position. But from where we're at, I could certainly, no question, be long. And he's right now at the angle he wants to get. I kind of like going to the rail and following down rather than staying. He's going to stay short here. I like following it over to the rail and floating down.
Absolutely. It's
Which
a
way
higher
do you like?
The way you're talking about, it's a much higher percentage.
And even drawing here is so much tougher to gauge. I'd follow forward even if I was trying to get where he's trying. I wouldn't draw this.
Well, the 8-ball looks like it's covering a good portion of the side pocket, but he changed his mind, and he must.
He's laying the 8, I believe. Boy, you just can't see all the shots now. He's gonna. I guess that was blocking. Yeah.
Nicely done, though.
Yeah, except, boy, this is going to require quite a nice touch after he pockets the 1, playing the 2, and trying to get good position on the 3. And the problem is, if he don't get good position on the game, he's in jeopardy of losing the game.
Nice shot.
Boy,
there.
this is hard to get down that low. How do you play here? I spin all the way down just a little left 3. I wouldn't try to bounce off a second rail unless now looking like he's bouncing off. Maybe the balls are laying at a different angle where maybe this works real good.
Either way, a scratch is, you know, it's not prevalent. You know, it's not huge, but it's there.
I like going all splitting the difference between the corner and the 3 is what I like.
That way you take any scratch out of the equation.
Worst thing that can happen is
just like that.
the worst thing that can happen is
you may bump a ball.
I'm not going to lose a cue ball in the hole, I tell you that. I think he's falling real good.
Yeah, he played it just like he said he would.
If he makes this a 9, I look for him to win this game. Well, he's a little close to the rail, but I think he can float up between the 6 and the 7 to get on the 4. The 4 ball is the one that's on this lower rail, end rail, and I think he's got a pretty natural angle where he can just hit the cue ball with a level stroke, hit it in the center, and follow all the way down. He's elevated a little. He might have to.
Side pocket an issue?
The 7 might be an issue.
Well, he made sure he didn't hit either one of those, the pocket or the 7-ball.
I guess he didn't have the angle to do what I was talking about because he tried to go 2 rails there. And
that shows you just how tough the tables are playing. He hit it extremely hard, and it looked like he hit it that badly, and yet it hung up.
Yeah, these pockets are tight, as we just seen there. He hit that ball pretty good, and now Francisco comes to the table, and he's leading 6-5, isn't he, Neil? So that's if he wins here, he can he'll have a 2-game swing, and we're getting close to the end here.
Absolutely. Just got handed this
I tell you,
here.
how do you play position here? This is interesting.
Quarter of the ball. And,
oh boy!
Wow, I thought he was going to come directly toward the 4 ball. I don't know if he. That's a.
Tell you what, he hit. Boy, what great control that was. He hit the ball just the right degree of thickness and
absolutely
went to the center of that lower left rail, and
that was a great shot.
That's certainly.
And Van Boning's been a little bit more successful with his break. He's made 7 balls, making a ball 4 times out of 6, and Francisco Bustamante only making 5 balls on 2 breaks out of 6. So it seems like even though the score is tied, Shane's a little bit more consistent with making a ball break. He just hasn't gotten a shot after the break.
Yeah, he hasn't. It hadn't been effective in terms of he hadn't been getting position. He's been making balls, but
yeah, he's been next to a ball every time. Someone asked earlier who put Efren out of the tournament, and Mr. Kiamco, Warren Kiamco, beat Efren earlier. There are quite a few Filipinos representing here in Galveston.
well, Aquino won the winner bracket of the 8-ball earlier today, and he played another Filipino player, Robert Gomez.
There are so many first-round matches. I want to say Luat, Perica, Gallego. They all had to play each other. Bustamante wins that game.
Yeah, he pulls ahead 7-5. This is a bad stage of a match. All behind 2 games there.
Absolutely, for the first
Hanging
time.
up that 3 could end up costing him a match. Because Francisco hasn't played, he hasn't run out that many racks from the break either.
Absolutely, both players have been struggling after the break, not having a shot. And pocketing balls, the majority of the time, at least Shane has, still not getting a shot after the break on the 1. Do you think the lack of pattern racking is making a difference? You know, that was one of the rules that they instituted in this tournament, is the fact that you can't place balls in the rack the way you'd like to in a rack your own tournament. They requested that it's totally random. So I know a lot of people.
That's a rule that's hard not to break. Oh, I don't like that rule because anything your opponent does, you can do the same thing. I think that's a poor rule myself, because you can't tell me that these guys are not putting certain balls where they want, and it's right here. I'll just never believe it.
Absolutely, it's just too hard to tell.
So why force people to cheat and break the rule? I mean, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's opening himself to something you might not, opening a can of worms.
Yeah, because your opponent has no advantage. Because if he does, just notice racking him and rack him. If you think he's got an advantage, rack him that way yourself next time. The only place where it becomes an issue is when the referee racks the balls. Now, I think you definitely need the same spot for the 2. Random no longer works. As long as the players are racking, rack them where you want's fine. But the 2's too big an important ball. I think that ball should have a place to go, just like the 1 and the 10.
In order to be fair to both parties.
Correct. Because we used to have to argue about that in the Moscone Cup for years. They always played it with European referees, and they racking them random. But for some reason, it always seemed like ours was behind the 9.
Right. Exactly.
The random never seemed to work out 50-50.
Yeah. Random subjective sometimes.
So why not take it out where there's no question and just put the 2 in the place for everybody? Then maybe they were, maybe it's just a bad strength of random
Randomness.
placement.
Randomness just wasn't too random.
Why even worry about it? Just make it where it can't possibly happen.
Absolutely. And it looks like Bustamante has his put out for him. All the balls are out in the middle of the table.
Yeah, he just has to do like he's been doing, just pocketing one after the next, and he seems to be staying in line, and he's either going to come up straight up 1 rail or come up 2 rails, depending on his angle.
1 rail.
try to get at least to the side pocket. My goal on that is always make it at least to the side, and he just
Exactly on the side
just
pocket.
ideal speed. Just he's right on the money.
He's almost playing Nick Varner level pool.
I'd like to be out there, but I'm up here with you, Neil. Having a good time too.
That's what it's all about. And Mr. Bustamante.
Well, he's on the hill, A5. He's
Five.
really got a commanding lead now. He's got a 3-game lead. He's on the hill,
And his brake is working.
and
that's
Shane
something.
needs a shot.
Yep, and that was something
Needs a
that,
shot in a hurry.
you know, he almost doubled the amount. He made 3 balls last break, and he almost doubled the amount of balls he made all set just with that break.
Yeah. Yeah, and he run out, and for Shane, that was the wrong time for him to run out.
Absolutely. They're heckling Alex up in the stands. And Schumann and Alex Pagalian having a little back and forth, some comedic banter. Yeah, Nick did great. Did do very well on the 8-ball.
Well, really got to be pretty happy because except for doing exhibitions, I just haven't played much.
Do you give very many lessons, Nick?
Yeah, I've been teaching a lot this year. In fact, I traveled a lot with Johnny and
Oh, that's right.
did
You
a
did
lot
the
of
Southern.
clinics and
That's
a lot
right.
of exhibitions, and
I heard about that.
spent a lot of time together this year with Johnny.
Oh, he's an excellent person to spend time with. He's great.
Yeah, he's easy to get along with. He's fun to be around.
You guys are both.
Okay.
Wow. It doesn't look like it, but that was a dry break.
Yeah, he really hit him. I mean, look at it. All but 7 out of the 10 are below the side, and but Shane finds himself with a tough opening shot. No open pocket for the 1 ball, and
Now, if you're behind in a match like this, do you opt for a shot, or are you playing a safety in this situation? Do you?
well, I lean more toward. Well, it depends on what I think gives me the best chance to win. Sometime the school might dictate it a little bit. A lot of times when you fall further behind, a lot of people think you need to maybe take more chances.
Right.
But it doesn't do you any good if you miss. If you take a chance, you have to execute to be any advantage.
Absolutely.
Shane's still in this match, though. If he can just, you know, get to that break, he's easily capable of running 4 racks and out here with that break he's got.
Absolutely.
And he's been, I think, a little. He hasn't been very fortunate on getting.
Uh-oh.
Better hurry though.
Uh-oh.
He got far enough.
I think he has to do something pretty tricky. And he left an open shot. He didn't waste any time getting down on that bank shot. He felt very comfortable, but
Actually, that's about the only place it could go where he wouldn't come out okay. As any place else it goes, he would have been in pretty good shape. But hanging it up was the worst spot.
both players having a problem getting around a striped ball.
Well, the only difference is I think Bustamante can see all the 5. If not, it's not much of a
Hassle.
I don't even think he has to spin it all. I think he just has to pocket it. I think he's worried more about getting straight in on the 6 or scratching.
Right. Yeah, with the
After he pockets it.
has to make sure he makes the ball. He's tight pockets, so he's to bobble something like this. he hit the rail first on that. That was intentional. That was a very, very unique shot. I don't know if anybody would have played it that way.
Well, he hit it soft enough there. He wasn't going to scratch. Gives him a lot of room for error. He figured to miss the ball at that speed where he jacked up.
Yeah, anything can happen.
And he forced that out real nice, too.
Yeah, I think he got that out a little bit more than he thought he could.
Well, I don't think we're going to see. I think we're not going to see Shane anymore coming to the table tonight.
Nothing's.
These 3 balls is all at keeping Bustamante from a win set, and he's got really good position on the 9, and he makes that 10, he'll win this match against Shane, and
110 ball away. Just roll the ball in the hole. Not easy. Sounds, of course.
well, it's sure been a good match. I've really enjoyed it, and I certainly have enjoyed spending some time with you, Neil, and glad you're playing real good, and wish you the best in the future. And
Me too. I hope to see you at more tournaments.
Hope to see you soon.
Yep, you too, Mr. Barner. And Francisco puts it down and wins the match. Fantastic match, back and forth, just a great display of pool. That was really enjoyable.
I like.
I'm really happy. Really happy.
You did fine. You did great.
Thanks.
You did very well. Well, I guess Joy will be back.
Well, Nick and I are going to be leaving the booth. Just want to say hello to everybody back in Seattle. Karina, Bobby, Toasty, everybody. Thanks for listening. Hope I didn't do too badly. And Joey A should be back for the next couple of matches and bringing another guest commentator. And yes, Tiger is one of my main sponsors, so I'd like to give a shout out to them. They helped me throughout the year, and great people to work with. Corey, Tony. I mean, you just can't beat people like that. They sponsor tours, players, and are a big part of the industry. And all they're doing is getting bigger and better. So we appreciate their sponsorship.
Christina De La Garza here with Francisco Bustamante, who just defeated Shane Van Boening in the one-loss side of the 10-ball event. Congratulations on your win. Obviously, the big shot of the match here was at 5-5. Shane played a great one-ball safety on you, and you made an even better one kick safe back on him. How do you guys learn to kick so well? The Filipinos are known for being great at kicking.
Well, you know, because when I start playing pool, I play carom. So, and then I learned how to run the cue ball, you know, and then it's not only like that. We play rotation. That's our best game in Philippines, and you can learn a lot of shot if you play rotation about the kick shot, you know. That's why all the Filipino they play good kick.
But you guys don't use many systems, right? It's just from feel and experience?
No, that's only experience for mentality only.
Because most carom players do use systems, but you guys don't?
Yeah, because we don't know about the system, you know. We just play for feelings. So, and then it's work, you know. Just play your own feelings, you know.
All right. Well, I know Shane was in the Philippines recently, and everybody knows you guys match up a lot in the pool rooms. Did you have a chance to play him while he was there in Maybe not in the tournament, but in the pool rooms?
Yeah, we play in the pool rooms. We play gamble, so I beat him 3 times in a row.
Okay. Well, what do you think about your next opponent? I think it's one of your friends, Warren Kiamko. You guys are going to be on this table in just a few minutes.
Well, it's gonna be tough because especially we are both Filipino. We like to, but this is good. One of us, gonna be in the finals. So for me, it's no problem.
And how was it taking out Alex? You gave him a little warning on the stream yesterday, and then you followed through with it. What did he have to say about that?
Well, he's a kid. Wherever he's watching tournament, he always make noise. So for him, a lot of people, they know him already. So for me, don't follow me nothing.
Okay, well, congratulations again, and I'll give you a little bit of time to take a break here. You guys stay tuned with us. We're going to have Francisco Bustamante and Warren Kiamko on this table in just a few minutes. Congratulations again.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.